Hello, fellow risk takers, and welcome to my worst investment ever. Stories of loss to keep you winning. In our community, we know that to win in investing, you must take risk, but to win big, you've got to reduce it. To join our community, go to myworstinvestmentever.com right now, and you will receive the following 5 free benefits. First, you get the risk reduction checklists I created from the lessons I've learned from all my guests. Second, you get my weekly investment research email to help you increase return. Third, you get a 25% discount on all A Stotts Academy courses. Fourth, you get instant access to our Facebook community to get to know guests and fellow listeners. And finally, you get my curated list of the top 10 podcast episodes. Fellow risk takers, this is your worst podcast host, Andrew Stotts from A Stotts Academy, and I'm here with featured guest Fernando LoFrano. Fernando, are you ready to rock?
Yes, I was born ready.
Love it. I love it. Let me introduce you to the audience. Fernando LoFrano is a Brazilian IT executive, promoter, and consultant in digital transformation, acting as an agent of transformation in organizations, impacting the transition of business models and operations to the new digital age. As one of the most influential in the information technology space in Latin America, he is an IT governance specialist with an MBA in project management. He is also the author of The Role of Project Management in Digital Transformation. Fernando, take a minute and fill in further tidbits about your life.
So I've been living in Brazil. I'm 39 years old, and since my childhood, I've been fascinated by technology. Star Wars movies, video games, and computers are my passion. And now I've been aligning everything to business. I've studied many courses about IT management, and I've got my MBA in project management from Getúlio Vargas Foundation. Recently, I wrote my book about my experience on information technology and project management. I'm a business IT consultant currently, and it rocks.
Yeah. Wow. And let me ask you, what do you do in your free time when we don't have COVID nightmare?
Lately, I'm riding with my bike over neighborhood and town, city near here.
That's great. I love to get up early in the morning and bike. And what's great about it when you bike around the neighborhood is it doesn't matter if the parks are closed or other places are closed because of COVID. You can still go out and make it happen. All right. Well, now it's time to share your worst investment ever. And since no one goes into their worst investment thinking it will be, tell us a bit about the circumstances leading up to it and then tell us your story.
So when I was 22 years old, I started my entrepreneurship journey, and for 2 years I've been looking for some practice or a different way to manage my new businesses, focused on IT support. By the way, I was starting a challenge, and it was defying me, of course. And then I decided to invite a friend, 26 years older than me, to be my business partner. From the beginning, every situation about the new business always sounded like poetry. But over time, things went hard, and it certainly needed maturity to make good decisions. My business partner has got maturity, but not ambition for business. And about me, I have always had anxiety to make things happen. Um, Even though both craved for success, but in order to make money, hard work is needed. A lot of work hard. Imagine a scenario with two situations: one partner with family and other businesses to care, and another young partner yearning for challenges and make a success fast. So certainly it didn't work. It was 4 years with many arguments and repeated comes and goes until the end. After all, it was game over for the business partnership, and each one went to his destination.
Mm. And how much time did that all, did you lose, or money, or what was the loss from that?
Um, Probably 4 years.
Mm. And how did you feel, as you came to the end and you knew it was going to end? How did you feel about yourself or about the situation?
It was a tough time because I was very anxious, a lot of anxious, because hard decisions anywhere, anytime, and different thoughts.
Mm, mm. And how would you summarize what you learned from this experience?
I could start planning better my decision.
Mm,
Will it affect my friendship? Is that a good moment? I should have practiced empathy, but
mm,
I was a young man with a lot of thirst to put this on the agenda.
mm. Right. So better planning, and also considering if it would affect your friendships, and then having empathy. Yeah. Maybe I'll summarize what I took away from this story. One of the things that I think about this empathy is that we have to understand that each person goes into a business project or business startup with different expectations, different hopes, and different fears. And when we don't understand the other one's fears or expectations, then it's almost guaranteed to come to problems. So I think that one lesson I take from what you said is try to be open from the beginning about your expectations and all that. The second thing is, will it affect my friendship? Is another thing that I started a business with my best friend 26 years ago, and we've survived. But when we started the business, we made an agreement. If this business will break up our friendship, we will close the business. And we've lived on that agreement. And that means that when we fight or argue about things, we stay respectful of each other because we value the friendship. And the third thing is understanding that there's a balance in business. We need different people with different experience and even different expectations. But that also brings conflict. We need that conflict, but that conflict can be dangerous or even deadly for the company. And there's no perfect answer for that. But the point is, if you just do it all alone and everybody around you thinks the same, it's very difficult to be successful. So those are the things that I take away from your story. Is there anything that you would add to that?
Uh, you just told me a similar situation. We need to have empathy because I I've got a friend, and when we have new situations to make decisions, we need to empathy empathy to to clearly make it all decisions.
Yep, that's valuable. And in order to have empathy, you need to listen. And that's, a key element to building a successful friendship, relationship, or business is listening
Mhm.
and having empathy. So
Empathy.
let me ask you, based
Yeah.
on what you learned from this story and what you continue to learn, what one action would you recommend our listeners take to avoid suffering the same fate?
Uh, a good friend is not always a good business partner. Uh, find partners with different skills but the same engagement to target success and practice the planning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. The point is, you need different types of people, but you have to have your interests aligned. So my last question for you is, what is your number one goal for the next 12 months?
Well, I have finished my book, and now I am going to sell and introduce to people my experience over the world. Who knows?
Great. And for the listeners out there, to get to know Fernando, just come to the show notes. We'll have links to all the stuff linking to him so that you can learn more. Well, listeners, there you have it. Another story of loss to keep you winning. My number one goal for the next 12 months is to help you, my listeners, reduce risk and increase return in your life. To achieve this, I've created our community at myworstinvestmentever.com. See you there. As we conclude, Fernando, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. And on behalf of A Stotts Academy, I hereby award you alumni status for turning your worst investment ever into your best teaching moment. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
Well, as Lincoln would say, if I only had an hour to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 45 minutes sharpening my axe.
Beautiful. So valuable. And that's a wrap on another great story.
Deeply.
Yeah, deeply valuable to help us create, grow, and protect our fellow risk takers. This is your worst podcast host, Andrew Stott, saying, I'll see you on the upside.